So now that we've got our chord shapes, which are our 2 major bar chord shapes and our 2 minor bar chord shapes, we need to know the notes of where to put them on the guitar. So what I'm going to show you is just the quick and easy way to memorize where your notes are on the guitar. But there's 2 things we need to know first, and that is what is a whole step and what is a half step. These are both measurements of distance in music between notes. So a half step is the smallest amount of distance you can go. So that would be 1 fret on the guitar. Up a half step, up a half step, down a half step, so on and so forth. So if a half step is 1 fret, how much is a whole step? It's 2 frets. Now let's move forward. And the way I'd really like to show you how to do this is on the piano, because pianos are everywhere. I feel like most people have had some interaction with the piano, no matter their musical education. And you're going to be learning about 2 things at once. So let's take a look at the piano, get the notes down. We'll come back to the guitar. A couple minutes, you'll have it. So all we're going to be doing is looking at the white keys, because the white keys have no sharps or flats. Those are just the note names, and all you need to know is the alphabet. People typically like to start is they like to find C. And C is next to a group of 2 black keys. See, there's groups of 2 black keys and there's groups of 3 black keys, and that just kind of repeats. And the C is just to the left of a group of 2. So that's C. And if you know your alphabet, you can just know it goes C, then D, then E, then F, then G, then A, then B, and then what goes after B? C. We're back at C. If you remember from just a couple seconds ago, what is the smallest amount of distance? It's a half step. So if I was on C and I went up a half step, what's the smallest distance? Right there, C sharp or D flat. They're the same notes, enharmonic. That's a half step. Up another half step, up another half step, up another half step. Now what's interesting is there's 2 spots in between the white keys where there's no black key, and that's a half step distance. So there's 2 spots where there are half steps in between the letter names, between E and F and B and C. The easiest way to memorize this is that there's a whole step between all the notes except for E and F and B and C. You can see these are the 2 white key areas that touch. So you can think of it, as an acronym. For E and F, you could say everyone farts. And for B and C, you could do burnt chicken. and those things can work together. I challenge you to make up your own acronym. This might not be my best spot to flex creativity here. But, EF, B, and C. Those are the 2 spots where there's half steps between the notes, and that is the big takeaway here. Okay, now let's move that to the guitar. What did we learn? We learned that there are whole steps between all of the letter note names, A through G, except for in 2 spots, E and F, B and C. Now, we're going to take it to the guitar. What is this string name? That is the E. Okay, what is the next letter after E in the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, E and F. What do we remember about E and F? There is a half step in between E and F. So we're only going to go up 1 fret. There's our F. Now, what's the next letter in the alphabet? E, F, G. Is there a half step or a whole step? Well, it's all whole steps unless it's E and F or B and C. So F to G, we go up a whole step. There's G. Now what about from G to A? Here's G. G and A is a whole step distance. There's A. What about from A to B? A to B. Well, all whole steps, okay. There's B. Now what about from B to C? Ooh, those are a half step, boys. That's right. B to C is a half step. There's C. Now what about from C to D? That's right. It's a whole step. Now what about from D to E. I think you're getting the idea here. Exactly. And now you just learned all of your notes on the E string. But you've effectively learned them across all of the strings now because we just have to build it using that formula. So let's look at the A string real quick. Open A is A. That's the note A. Now how far is it from A to B? It's a whole step. We have to go up 2 frets. There's B. Now what about from B to C? Oh, B to C. We know that, that's burnt chicken. That's a half step. There you go. From C to D is a whole step. From E to F, it's a half step. So now we've got all of our note names across 2 strings. Now, of course, this doesn't mean you've instantly memorized where they are and you can jump to them quickly. No, but you can build it from scratch and you're going to learn it incredibly quickly. And what you'll already start to notice is for certain open chords like C, where's the root? Oh, it's on C. What about the G chord? Oh, the root is on G. Okay. Now we've got part 3 of the lesson. That's right. We're going to combine the first video, our 4 shapes, with the notes we've learned, and now we can play so many songs. I'm going to give you how we're going to do that with some example ones. So let's look at something simple. Oh man. Hold up. Give me a second. Okay. Sharp. No. Alright. Let's say our chord progression is A minor to G. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find A. Well, we're going to start from E, and we're going to go through what we learned about the letter names. We have E, then a half step to F, G, A. So there's our root A. So we have to plug in that minor bar chord. To G major. Well, we need to go back down to G. There's our root of G. And then we need to play a major bar chord. So we're going to plug in that major bar chord. Aha! Yeah, you see where this is going now? You see where this is going? Well, let's say it's Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. Well, we need to add one more chord in there. We've got A minor, then we need C major, then G major. We've got A. You have 2 options here. You could go up to C up here. Or you could go to C right here. A, B, C. And it's a C major. So we're going to play C root, and we're going to put that major chord on the top. So we've got A minor, C major, G major. Yes, by knowing where your roots are and knowing the note names and knowing either your major or minor chord shape, you can literally play millions of songs now, just tons of them. And you've learned a very, very, very valuable skill. I'm proud of you. Why don't we keep on going? Take this in. You know, if this is your accomplishment for the week, for the month, it's huge. Not all guitar players or musicians know where their notes are, and that can be a huge hindrance when you're trying to learn a lot of songs quickly or just learn songs at all and your ear isn't quite developed yet. So give yourself a pat on the back. This is a big step, and if this is just one of things you've done today, then huge kudos. That's fantastic. I got into the habit of saying fantastic a lot in these videos. I don't know if I ever say that in real life. That's probably something that will fade. Thank you for tuning into the video. Please like and subscribe. I'm really going to be pumping out a lot of these videos, and they're all topics that either I go over all the time with my students, or they are topics that are just near and dear to my heart. So thank you again so much. Have fun playing and take care.